You ever get that message from someone who ghosted you, disrespected you, or only remembers you when they need something? And right as your phone lights up, your stomach flips. Part of you wants to reply. The other part pauses. This right here is the moment you need to see clearly. Before you answer, before you send that one-word reply or open the door again, breathe. You don't owe anyone instant access to your peace. We live in a world that praises quick responses. Seen means pressure, but just because someone reached out doesn't mean you're obligated to open the gate. This is where Stoicism whispers, you have the power to choose your response. You are not a slave to impulse. Think about it. Why now? Why are they reaching out? Is it curiosity, guilt, loneliness, or convenience? And, more importantly, does it serve your growth to engage? Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That message, that person, that ping on your phone, that's an outside event. But your pause, your silence, that's your power. You're not being cold by protecting your energy. You're not heartless for taking time to think. You're simply remembering that not every message deserves a reply. Not every knock needs to be answered, especially if that door once opened lets in the very storm you've worked so hard to heal from. So, before you respond, ask yourself, does this interaction align with the peace I'm building? You're not here to react. You're here to rise. Choose from clarity, not emotion. And if silence feels right, let it speak for you. Now let's be honest. Part of you probably still wants to reply. Not out of clarity, but out of habit. Maybe you miss them. Maybe it feels like closure. Maybe it's just easier than sitting with the discomfort of not knowing what they want. That tug you feel? That's not love or loyalty. It's the echo of your past trying to drag you back. But growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth shows up in the pause, in the not texting back, in choosing what serves you over what soothes you. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This right now is one of those trials. It's not about them. It's not even about the message. It's about the version of you that wants to stay grounded, peaceful, and unmoved. That version of you doesn't chase, doesn't explain, doesn't react. They had a chance to treat you right the first time. If they didn't, you're not cruel for remembering that. Stoicism isn't about being cold. It's about being rooted, being deliberate. You can still have compassion without reopening old wounds. You can care about someone and still decide not to let them back in. You don't need to play games. You just need to honor your standards. And the right people, real ones, they'll respect your silence. They'll understand your distance. The ones who don't, they were never for you in the first place. So next time your phone lights up, remember this. Your time, your peace, your growth. They are worth protecting. You don't need to explain your silence. Sometimes silence is the answer. Here's something no one really tells you. You teach people how to treat you every single time you respond. Every time you give someone another shot without accountability. They learn that your boundaries are flexible, that your peace is negotiable, and that you'll always make space for them, even when they wouldn't do the same for you. But you're not here to be a revolving door for people who only show up when it's convenient. You're here to stand tall in your self-respect. See, Stoicism isn't about pretending things don't affect you. It's about being honest enough to feel the weight of a moment and strong enough not to let it control you. That message, that person from your past, might stir something in you. But stirring doesn't mean staying. Feeling doesn't mean following. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And sometimes the most powerful reaction is no reaction at all. Letting someone back in should never be a reflex. It should be a decision, a slow, mindful one. Ask yourself, has anything changed? Have they grown? Have you? Because if all that's different is the timing and not the treatment, you already know how that story ends. Don't reread that chapter just because you miss the way it made you feel. Your peace isn't fragile, it's earned. And it's not up for negotiation every time someone remembers your number. If someone's reaching out now, let them meet the version of you that's done begging for closure, done explaining your worth, and done settling for crumbs. Let's talk about the temptation to give them just one more chance. It sounds harmless, right? Maybe they've changed. Maybe this time is different. But if you zoom out for a second, you'll see the pattern, not their pattern, yours. It's not about whether they'll show up differently. It's about whether you'll keep abandoning yourself to make space for people who've already shown you they don't value what you bring. There's nothing noble about self-sacrifice when it's not mutual. Forgiveness? Yes. Growth? Always. But repetition of the same cycle, hoping for a new result, that's not hope, that's avoidance. That's fear dressing up as kindness. And here's the truth. They might not have bad intentions. Maybe they really do feel sorry. Maybe they miss you. But regret isn't the same as accountability. Missing you isn't the same as deserving you. And reaching out doesn't automatically mean they've earned access to you again. Stoic wisdom reminds us to keep our emotions in check, not by denying them, but by leading them. You feel the tug. Good. You're human. But you don't follow it blindly anymore. You sit with it. You examine it. And then you act with purpose. You are not cold for saying no. You are not harsh for protecting your peace. You're becoming someone who's done mistaking crumbs for care. Someone who knows that just because a door was once open doesn't mean it still should be. Let them wonder why you didn't reply. Let them sit in the silence they once gave you. That's not revenge, that's restraint. That's power. So here we are. The message is still there. The notification's still waiting. But now, you're different. You're no longer rushing to reply just because someone remembered your name. You're not bending over backward for the sake of nostalgia or false hope. You're standing still, calm, clear, and unshaken. This is what mindful stoicism looks like in real life. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't chase what disturbs my peace. You've grown. You've healed parts of yourself that no one clapped for. You've found peace in your own presence, clarity in your silence. So when someone reappears, tugging at the past, don't lose yourself trying to make them feel comfortable again. You don't owe a reply to every echo from your past. You don't owe access to people who only show up when it's easy. What you do owe is your highest self, the one who knows their worth, who's learned from pain, and who's finally done compromising for connection. And if you still feel unsure, pause. Breathe. You're not on anyone's clock but your own. If it's meant, it won't need to beg for your attention. And if it's not, your silence will say what words never could. Guard your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table just because they remember where you live. You're not hard to reach. You're just not easy to disturb anymore. And that's power.